She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Hey, I'm Dani Johnson. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. And on this Friday, we are talking about marriage and keeping it hot. Why? Well, every single day of the week, we have a different theme. So money we talk about on Monday. Tuesday, we give you work tips. Wednesday is all spiritual. Thursday is how to thrive. Friday, is this going to be a Friday? I think it's going to be a Friday about yes, it's Friday. We're talking about marriage and keeping it hot. I don't know if you know this, but the average married couple, in fact, the average religious married couple, has sex once a month. Ugh, that is so awful. That is not how it's supposed to be, friend. I mean, seriously, that is so not how it's supposed to be. At least from my perspective, at least from like what I've read from the Bible, I'm pretty sure that no, go forth and multiply doesn't mean once a month. I believe that it is very, very important to keep our love life and our sex life alive and fresh and wonderful and meaningful. And I believe that God blesses that thing. Like He way blesses that thing. So sometimes what happens is that we run out of ideas or we just kind of get ourselves in a routine and we kind of allow the busyness of life to kind of enter in our life, and we're ruled by busyness and we're driven by goals at work instead of being what? Inspired by goals for the marriage. I think the marriage is the most important relationship on earth. I really do. And I also believe that it is the number one relationship that is a target, that it's under assault. There is war against it big time. There's war against all of our marriages. And why? Because when there is a strong marriage, boy, oh boy, those parents have the ability to really instill into their children and program their children for greatness, for great things, and to become incredible human beings. But when the marriage is like this or like this, then it creates all kinds of other problems, emotional problems, mental problems, spiritual, physical, and financial problems. I believe that marriages are under attack and a full-on assault, even from high places, to break up that relationship for really the reason of, especially from the high places, of the generational passing down of wealth. One of the ways to take the wealth from the families is to break the family up. Wherever there's instability, there's just tragedy that can come out of that instability. And so today we want us to have this conversation to where we can bring some freshness in that relationship instead of it being boring, average, or okay, but that there can be something that's like fulfilling and refreshing. I got to tell you something. Hans and I have to tell you that our sex life is what has kept us together through every horrible thing we've ever gone through. I mean, when we got married, first of all, he was 18, I was 22 when we got together. And when we conceived our first child, he was 18, I was 22, okay? We did everything completely backwards, and boy, did we suffer because we did everything backwards. And so in our relationship, we had just major rocky times, whether it was like major financial rocky times, major health issues. I had a heart attack when I was 24. That's 2 years after we got together, and it was like the year we got married. And I had a nervous breakdown, tried to kill myself when I was 25. My husband's a martial artist. So again, this is like 3 years after we got together and 2 years after we were married, I tried to kill myself. Like, that's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. We got married in 93 and this happened in 95. And so, meaning contractually married, like through the state of Hawaii got married. We biblically were married May of 1991. But anyway, meaning according to the Bible. We won't go there right now. Especially if you're too religious and you really can't handle the Bible, then we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, so I want to say that our sex life definitely has kept us together. It absolutely kind of has been the thing that has helped to sustain us. Our passion for each other, our passion for sex with each other has helped to sustain us through some like really, really horrible times. We've almost ended up divorced several times. And I'm happy to say that we have been on a track where we are, honestly, I have now received in the last 5 years, this summer is when our marriage took a turn for the absolute best. And it was actually through the turn that looked like for the worst. But the turn for the worst turned out to be the turn for the absolute best. And so there's some things that I've done in our relationship to keep our sex life alive, to keep it fresh, to keep it exciting. And we might get into some of those things today, but more importantly, I would like to hear from you. Like if you have the courage to talk about your relationship with how you are romancing your spouse, I want to give you my phone number right now. It's 830-315-1557. Our lines are open right this minute. If you've got the chutzpah, if you've got the courage to talk about this and keeping the relationship romantic, keeping it fresh, keeping it alive, because here's the fact, you have to. This is what the horrible fallacy is that our society has done to marriage. They have created this full-on lie that if you marry the right person, then you're going to be happy. I'm here to tell you that is a joke. That is such a lie. The fact is that our culture has set people up to fail in marriage. How? A couple of ways. Number one, the girls have not been taught, the daughters have not been taught to honor and respect men. And every man was wired with all the parts that he needs honor and he needs respect. Respect being the most important thing to him. But the women, the girls, when they were girls, they were taught by their mothers largely, and then of course by television that our mothers put us in front of, okay? And even by our grandmothers and our aunts and uncles. I grew up in a home that were total feminists. They hated men, and they were largely all single women. So my grandmother had been married, I think 5 times. My aunt was divorced 3 times. My other aunt divorced 1 time. And so there was like one part of the family there were 2 aunts that had been married, right? But largely the men were outside drinking beer, smoking weed, snorting lines, and the women were inside the house drinking wine and complaining about the men. And so I would walk in and I would see and hear, and I also watched my grandmother throw plates at my father every Sunday. Like, we'd come for pasta. It was fine in the beginning. As soon as she had way too much to drink, she was cussing him out in Italian and throwing plates at his head. And so I would hear these things from my aunts and from my mother. Oh, it's a good for nothing, but I like bad, right? So I was programmed to disrespect who I thought was my father. Turned out he was my stepdad. And so because the women have not been trained to honor and respect, why largely wives don't respect the husbands. We live in a society that through programming and television that men are being disrespected all over the place. And so she doesn't know how to respect a husband one day. So we're going to continue with more as soon as you check this out. We'll be right back. Have you ever wondered if your investments are making enough money for retirement? What if you could buy an investment rental property for as little as $35,000 that rents for at least $550 a month? After Aaron and Drew Hudson asked themselves this question, Hudson Real Estate Investments was formed, and now 200 transactions have been conducted. Their system helps individuals buy and hold real estate. Their definition of a great buy and hold is a property that pays you a monthly positive cash flow from day one. Hudson Real Estate Investments has a team who find properties available for immediate purchase, vet tenants, and have qualified property management in place. So if you're looking to have freedom and live your life on your own terms, grab your phone and text the word future to 484848. Get started today. Text the word future to 484848. Secure your future now. Do you have a closet full of clothes yet say, I have nothing to wear? Are you a mom doing her best but desperately lacking me time? Or maybe your schedule has you dressing practically instead of powerfully. What if I told you there's a system, a blueprint that can save you time, money, and turn every head in the room, as well as impact the world through fashion? Friend, You're in the fashion business whether you like it or not. You're an ambassador representing your faith, your marriage, family, and business. Style is just a skill made easy with 123 Style Me. 10 steps to style success that will expand your leadership, save you hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars. This program will bring you peace of mind, reignite your marriage, make you more productive, respected, and instantly boost your confidence, equipping you to be bold and beautiful. Go to courses.lindapage.com. Again, that is courses.linda, LINDAPAIGE.com, and make a priceless investment in yourself. Are you confident that you're always getting a good deal? Have you been equipped with the negotiation confidence, strategies, tactics, and supporting tools you need to close world-class deals? Finally, JPA is making the exact same specialized negotiation training and secrets used by the world's largest, most successful corporations available to everyone. Proven in more than 60 countries and used by brands like Adidas, Vodafone, Pfizer, Nokia, and others, the JPA negotiation method will set you up to save money and time while significantly increasing your profits. It doesn't matter if you're buying or selling real estate, closing contracts with suppliers, or selling products and services to individuals or organizations. Using their simple step-by-step negotiation preparation checklist, you'll be ready to confidently slug it out toe-to-toe with the toughest professional negotiators. It's time for you to stop leaving money and opportunity on the table. Go to bizneg.com/events to register now. Again, that's bizneg.com/events. Get registered today.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
So you might be saying right now, if you just finished watching that first segment, that wait a second, yeah, okay, Dani, you're probably right. Women have not been trained to respect men. Okay, I get it. But what about the guys? They haven't been trained to honor and respect the women either. Okay. Cool your jets, girlfriend. Chillax. You're right. They haven't. And why? Because, well, the women don't respect the men, and she's belittling him and emasculating him, and then he's doing it back. Dani, are you saying that it's all the women's fault? No, but I'm saying that largely, I'm telling the truth. Do you honor and respect your spouse? How do you show that? Are you smiling at the door when he comes home? Is there a hot meal ready for him when he walks in the door? How does the house look? Is the house a pigsty, a disaster? Let me ask you this. Are you enticing him? Drawing him into intimacy with you? Are you engaging and caring about what he does? Are you thanking him every single week he brings home a paycheck? Or do you have the attitude that I had in the beginning? It was like, well, I'm making money too. Why do I have to thank him? If he didn't have me, then we wouldn't have as much as we have. Yeah, that was me. Total disrespect. Total dishonor. Are you thanking him for being the protector of the family? Are you thanking him for being willing to have children with you? Are you thanking him for being faithful? He ain't faithful, man. He's on the computer all the time. That's how I was too. I went up to his computer so many times and I just ran my fingers straight across the keyboard and said, I hate that wench in this house. She is the other woman. Her name is Mac. Yeah, that was totally dishonorable. Totally disrespectful. So bottom line is that if you're not feeling honored and respected, number one, are you being honorable and respectful? So one of the ways that we can show honor and respect to our spouse is to romance them. Yes. Here's what I have found. In the last 5 years, I have found that the most fulfilling thing that I think all of us were wired for is marriage. Oh my gosh, there is nothing like coming together as one flesh. Coming together as one flesh, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. There's nothing like it. There's no award. There's no amount in a bank account that feels better than that. There's no car that you could drive that makes you more fulfilled than that. There's no kind of recognition that you could get that make you feel more fulfilled than that. There's no size of a business that can make you feel, trust me, there's no level of fame that can make you feel more fulfilled than that. Like waking up this morning with my husband and us holding hands. Yeah, we hold hands as we go to sleep at night. We hold hands when we wake up in the morning. Like that's just where we find ourselves is holding hands. There's nothing like that connection. So how can we make that connection better, greater, more fun? Well, let's talk a couple of things. Number one, it's important to encourage your spouse. You see, it is so easy for us to complain. It's so easy for us to forget to encourage. So easy for us to forget to encourage, like saying things like, for example, right? Father's Day was just a little bit ago, right? Saying things like looking him in his eyes and saying, thank you for being such a committed father. Thank you for always working on yourself and growing. Thank you for being wise. Thank you for how you love our kids. Thank you for what you are teaching our kids. Thank you that you actually were for us having these kids. Thank you for being engaged with them, spending time with them, being interested in them. You see, here's what I've noticed about me. I have that personality where I have a tendency to lean towards like complaining, right? Seeing what's wrong, being a fault finder. It's really bad and it's not right and it's certainly not holy or righteous. It's evil. And so I have to position myself to go, wait a second. No. Here's what I found. That we largely, 95% of the time, are good people, right? In general, 95% of the time, I would say 95% of us, 95% of the time, are really good people with good character, with the right heart. We're not looking to do evil. We're not looking to be mean to somebody. We're not looking on purpose to be a jerk. Majority of the time, we are wanting to bless somebody. We're wanting to be a blessing and we want to be blessed. But it's that little 5% of the time that people like me, like I was in the past, have a tendency of looking at what isn't right. Have a tendency of focusing in on, but he left his beard hair in the sink this morning. That happened. Okay. My husband has this gorgeous, gigantic, long goatee that I love. And part of the consequences of loving that beard is these long, wiry hairs end up in the sink. So I can like just blow my top on that. And what is that? How much of a 24-hour day is this little thing in there? Okay, how many times did I see it? A couple. Well, then I chose to clean it, obviously. But hear me out. We can focus on the 5% that we don't like. Or we can focus on encouraging and spread and speaking life, if you will. Highlighting the things that we love. The things that we love. So you can do that right now. You can send a text to your spouse right now. Just text 5 things you love about him or her. Text it right now. Just simply say, in your own words, you know what I love about you? And just text away. That will encourage, that will uplift, that will edify, that will bless them. And it's coming from left field. You can actually set a reminder in your phone randomly throughout the week. On Mondays at 2:00, it could be Tuesdays at 4:00. It could be, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just randomly. And sometimes it's 5 things, sometimes it's 2 things, sometimes it's 1 thing. And I would end that text with, I can't wait to smell you. Or I can't wait for my hands to touch you. Or I can't wait to hear your voice. Or I can't wait for my ears to hear the depth of wisdom that comes out of your mouth. I cannot wait for my eyes to look into yours. It's all clean. And it's very, very encouraging. And it's very, very edifying. And it's very, very stimulating. And I mean stimulating. So send the text right now. What have you got to lose? Have you been that person that likes to focus on the 5% that you don't like, that you've convinced yourself that it's 95% of the time? Or do you have a bit more wisdom and understanding than that to go, yeah. When was the last time I focused on all the things that I love about this person I exchanged vows with? Come on, do it now. Do it right now. Pick up your phone. Make it happen. And when we continue right after this little short break, we're going to give you a couple more ideas. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this. Financing a home can be a nightmare if you don't know exactly what you're doing. Ask me. I know this. That's why the first thing you have to do is find a mortgage company you can trust that has your back through the entire process. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading your current one, or looking for an investment property, Rick Fujisaki at Wintrust Mortgage wants to win your trust. Rick understands the mortgage industry, and he can take all the stress out of financing a home for you. His easy-to-use worksheets will help you calculate the mortgage you can afford. And he has a unique tool designed to help you find and set aside money for your down payment. And when you work with Rick, who, by the way, I love, a portion goes to caring for the poor through King's Ransom Foundation. So visit loanmortgageguys.com and start building your dream today. Again, contact Rick at loanmortgageguys.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Digby and I'm from New South Wales, Australia, and I'm here live at First Steps to Success. I've been to 6 events now, and my journey started with an encore in Brisbane, and after doing 2 encores in Australia, I just really had to come to a live event, so here I am today. And since attending an encore and getting involved, my income has doubled and my family life is just blossoming. So you have to get there. You just have to experience it.
It's Amanda Sanders. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I've been completely inspired by this event. And it was payday this week, and instead of me going and splurging and spending money like I typically would have, I paid off $2,700 worth of debt, and I am extremely excited to get the rest of our debt paid off. And I also implemented a plan. We've been living off of a lot of money, and I did the numbers last night, and we can live off of $5,000 a month and like get our debt paid fast. So I'm super excited. Thank you so much.
And it's your first event, right?
It is my very first event.
So awesome.
So excited.
Go to DaniJohnson.com to find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS. What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. This is The Dani Johnson Show.
So on this conversation of love and romance and seducing your spouse, okay, I want to give you one that like really works. And it's one that my husband uses on me, and it works every time. Every time. It's really beautiful. You're going to sit there and go, this is so not sexy. Oh, yes, it is. Oh. It is so sexy. You ready? Listening. What? How is that sexy? Oh, trust me. It is. Come on. I want you to go back to the time when you were dating. So when Hans and I were, if that's what you call it, we really weren't dating. We were just, doing that thing. Anyway, honestly, I was using him, sadly. That is the truth. I was using him, and it was terrible. I was really a terrible woman. Really bad woman. So anyway, but I want you to go back to when you guys first met, right? I want you to go back to the long conversations. Go back to the long conversations and the times where you listened, like you wanted to bend your ear, right? We just finished talking about sending that text, right? Like, my ears can't wait to hear your voice, right? My ears can't wait to hear your voice. So now, like, get there and just gaze into their eyes and say, I want to hear everything you have to say. This shows that you value them. And when my husband looks at me with these eyes, these certain kind of eyes, I don't know how to explain these eyes, but they are like mysterious and mischievous and yet so endearing and so caring and so engaged, where it's just, it's almost like his eyes are glistening. And so I'm going to be going home tonight, and I'm going to give him some of those eyes of just glistening, gazing. He's tired, man. We've just had a big move, and he's had like a crazy schedule. And he sent me a text early, like, hey, I'm not going to head to the workout tonight. I'm just going to come home. I just need like a really relaxing night. I'm like, cool, what time do you want dinner? And so then my text message, I said, awesome, what time do you want to have dinner ready? And I said, I cannot wait to hear your voice. I can't wait to even just hear you breathe. I can't wait to be in your presence and to have a peaceful night together. What is that? That is like telling him I'm hearing what he needs. and I'm not putting pressure on him of things that need to be done. But when I get home, it's going to be come on, talk to me. What are you feeling good about? What are you feeling challenged about? What are you looking forward to? And pull out of him just the ability to just communicate. And so if you are a husband, you do this with your wife, and you do it with those very soft, very gentle, very endearing, very engaged eyes, which means put your cell phone in a different room. And that goes for you too, wife. Put your cell phone in a different place. Turn it off completely. The world is still going to go round even if you don't get that text message, okay? But just like 100% attention right there. And this ends, I promise you, in a wonderful, sweet, precious evening together, which then should end in that wonderful union of coming together as one flesh. Okay, so that's another one. Listening. Oh my gosh, it works. In fact, Hans and I, for the last, I would say 5 years, a good 5 years, maybe a little bit more, but our date nights used to be like dinner and a movie, you know what I mean? Things like that. Now, it's like just dinner. Why? Because we'll have a 3 to 4. We've even had a 6-hour lunch before. Like they closed, they let us stay, and then they reopened again for dinner. No joke. Why? Because we just enjoy each other's company and enjoy conversation and exploring different ideas and also like sharing opinions, which like prior to 5 years ago, that was like a danger zone until again, I learned how to not try to give my opinion all the time, but just like to hear, to listen to what that was and to really hear and try to understand and ask more questions and to explore. So try exploring each other. And you can even pick a topic that you would want to talk about or that maybe he wants to talk about and then just explore the topic, right? Explore it. And you could even like flirt at dinner or you could even flirt through text. Now, what does that look like? And just like, so I was kind of thinking about later on tonight. And, he might not catch that right from the get-go. But, I was kind of thinking that your hands should be exploring some things tonight. Drop that on him and watch what happens. Or, I was kind of feeling that there's like just a little part of my body that just needs just a little bit of attention. And I was kind of hoping I could give certain parts of your body a little bit of attention. Like, if you have time, if it's okay with you. I was thinking that, or this is a good one. Go back and talk about the first time you met. Go back and talk about how the kind of feelings that were going and kind of what you were thinking. Hey, do you remember when? And, and do you remember when you said this? And like just in a very cute, again, not intense way, but just in a very cute, explorative way. I have found that when Hans and I talk about when we first met, it just like brings back all of those feelings all over again. Or we talk about the wedding day, or we talk about having our first child together. We talk about even like when we first started that, that business that we started, just going back to those times that were kind of exciting and stimulating, or even telling your spouse how proud you are of them, of how they handled certain situations. Here's another one, as we're running out of time. I will tell you that when you pray a blessing over your spouse, like it's just random. Like my husband does this with me now, and it's taken years for us to get to this place. But I just want you to hold on because it might not take as long for you, but I promise you it's so worth it to wait for this and to pray for this. But that when he like just randomly stops, looks at me, and just says, "Lord, I want you to bless my wife today." Bless her mind, bless her spirit. Let her know what an awesome mom she is. Let her know what a beautiful woman she is. When you say these blessings over your spouse on purpose, right? And even just random, just like, spontaneously, just stop for a minute and just speak that blessing over them. That also keeps things refreshed, keeps things stimulated, keeps things exciting. So I hope you enjoyed today's show, and I pray that you do some of these things we're talking about because you got to keep the marriage hot. And by the way, go check out Hot Marriage Secrets at DaniJohnson.com. That's Hot Marriage Secrets at DaniJohnson.com. It might be your next step. All right, have a great one. Bye.